Good morning, everybody. My name is Melanie Miller, and I have been at Tupperware now for um, for nearly 20 years. In fact, I'm in my 20th year. And I wanted to take this opportunity to go live with you on YouTube to tell you about one of my favorite products and subjects, which is helping people to save time, to save money, to eat more healthily, and be a solution to pollution. And yes, we can do all of that with one of our products, which is called Modular Mates. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever bought something at the grocery store because you needed it for a recipe? And when you got home, you found that you already had it in your pantry? And what about the times that you go to your pantry and actually find even more than one of those? So one of the great things about Modular Mates is that they actually have a see-through window. So when you're having them in your cupboard, you can see quite easily if you have enough of the product that you need to make your recipe. And you can also warn yourself in advance when you are running low on something. So this is a great advantage with the see-through windows, which always point forward. You want them to point forward in your pantry. So sometimes what happens is we keep buying stuff. Our pantries get cluttered with lots and lots of different products. We get spillage, we get wasted space. And at the end of the day, my big feeling is that we are actually wasting money. We're wasting money because we're buying more than we need. We're wasting money because we're not storing properly what we already have. So sometimes we don't need a bigger pantry. We just need the pantry we have to work for us better. Now, I moved to Canada in 2001. I joined Tupperware in 2007, and I've been in Tupperware ever since. And one of the things that I did learn from when living in Australia was that modular mates are an absolute time saver. In Australia, nobody ever asked me to join Tupperware. And so I didn't even think about it. But I did arrive on a container ship from, well, I wasn't on the container ship, but my modular mates arrived on a container ship from Australia, having sat on the dock in Australia at plus 35 degrees, and then arriving in Canada, and it was minus 17. And my modular mates arrived. I hadn't had time to empty them, and they arrived with my goods intact. So that for me was the biggest test I could have done to see whether modular mates actually worked. So one of the things that saves you time, as I already touched on a moment ago, is visibility. Often, when we go into our pantries, we look and we say, oh, I need this, this, and this to do a recipe. We wade through the pantry. We can't find the item. We've only got a certain amount of time. And we know that if we want to get that recipe actually made, we better get to the store quickly so that we can get the item to be able to make the recipe. And then what do you know, 2, 3, 4 weeks later, we're wading through the pantry again, probably getting flour on our arms as we go, or moving scatters of pasta because the bag split. And we come across actually 2 bags of the thing that we had rushed out to buy. And this happens so often in our pantries. So it's also a really great way. Imagine if you are going into your pantry and you're looking, for example, to see whether you have any brown sugar. and you look in there and you say, oh yeah, I've got loads in there, I don't need to buy any just yet. So it makes making your shopping list really easy. And we all want to have as many tricks and tips as we can to be able to make shopping easier. And, if you are not buying things over and over again, guess what? It actually saves you money because you're not buying them over and over again. And, I'm going to talk to you later about how actually having modular mates will save you money anyway, because your stuff will last for so much longer. So let's talk about that now. I just showed you here my brown sugar. How many of you have ever gone to your pantry? You really want to use brown sugar in a recipe, but when you pick it up, it's just like a brick. In fact, the only thing you could probably use it for is putting it under your bed, just in case anybody ever tried to rob you and you could throw it at them. So what we want is we want you to be able to use your brown sugar. And here's my brown sugar. And you can see it's just moving around. I don't want to put my fingers in because probably somebody will say, oh, did you put your fingers in? But I always remember my daughter, Hannah. She was at a Tupperware party with me. And we were sitting around my island, and I was telling people how great it is to be able to have brown sugar that doesn't actually go hard and you don't get lumps in it. So my helpful 14-year-old at the time said, yeah, but Mum, our brown sugar has lumps in it. So I said, okay, Hannah, go and get the brown sugar out of the cupboard, which she did. I said, take the lid off, which she did. And I said, you see those lumps in there? So there you can see here, there's a little lump here. I said, I want you to pick it up now. She says, what? Pick up the lumps? I said, yeah. And of course, when she picked up the lumps, it would just disintegrated because it wasn't a lump. It was just how it had massed together in our container. So brown sugar without going lumpy is definitely going to save you money, because nobody wants to continually microwave their brown sugar so that the lumps go away. I'm not sure it even works that well. But when you microwave, what you're actually doing is evaporating off some of the moisture that is in your brown sugar, which makes it so delicious. Okay, so looking after that, what about the other things? Now, one of the things I have to show you here are raisins. You can see I've taken this somewhere, so I've put my name on it here, Miller. And what is great is that you can actually, can you see that? You can write on here with permanent markers, and then afterwards it will just rub off. So if you have a family who say, oh, I can't find such and such, or where is such and such? I mean, obviously write it neater than I have written it here, but you can write on here with black permanent marker, as long as you don't write it on the matte side, you write it on the clear side, and you will have an amazing labeled pantry. In my pantries, you can see I have random stickers as well. But anyway, so back to this. So I happen to love raisins. And since I've been in Canada, I've been so disappointed about the quality of raisins and how dry they are before you even get them to your house. Recently, I discovered sun-made raisins in a can. Yeah, they're a little bit more expensive, but I tell you what, it is so worth it. And because I store them in my Modular Mate here, and these I will touch because I can eat them afterwards. These are really soft. They are not, and they're nice and plump, and you're going to really enjoy using them. I use raisins in a lot of things, like I use them in rice pudding. I use them when I make bread pudding. I make cakes. I make a delicious sultana cake in the microwave, actually in my silicone bag. Can you see behind me? There's a red, oh, I'll just move to the side a bit. There's a red silicone bag there. I make a delicious cake in my silicone bag, and I can cook it in my microwave or in my oven. So it keeps soft things soft. So if you have raisins, if you have marshmallows, if you have apricots, all of them are going to stay soft in your Modular Mate. Okay, so that is stay soft. What about stay crisp? Now, every year I make a delicious white chocolate and graham cracker and cashew chocolate Christmas dish. And so I know that I have not bought these since December. It's the only time I use graham crackers. Can you hear? And let's open them up. And you can see that they look good. And I'm just going to break one for you. Do you hear that? So even these have been in here since December last year, and they're still crisp and fresh and absolutely delicious. So that is also a big cost saving, because how many of us buy something for a recipe and then we don't make the recipe for another 6 months? And during that time, the ingredient has deteriorated so much that you can't actually use the item. Okay, so why is it so good? Let me show you by taking the lid off my my brown sugar. So this is a Modular Mate lid, right? It's a little dusty on the top because I use it all the time. And inside the lid, you will see there is the outside of the lid, and then there is actually an inside ridge. Now, what happens is when you put this on your container, put my fingers inside here, and when I used to do Tupperware parties, I used to pass a lid around and say to people, try and get your fingers into the inside and the outside. And what they would say is, oh, it pinches. Well, of course it pinches, because it's pinching on the outside and the inside of your container. So you can see here, this is where the lid pinches around here. And what that does is it makes your Modular Mates totally airtight. Airtight means fresh. And that is one of the reasons your brown sugar will stay soft, your crackers will stay crispy, and you can end up with a really, really organized pantry, but also with fresh fruit, fresh food. So it protects your items from any outdoor smells, any outdoor contaminants. It protects them from humidity. And guess what? It protects them from insects. Okay, let me tell you a story about why I first started with Modular Mates. So I was living in Australia at the time, and I wanted to do some baking one day. So I went to my pantry and I got out my flour, but when I opened the top of the flour, it seemed like there was some movement in the flour. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is this? Anyway, turns out it was something that's very common. It's not just in Australia, it's in Canada too, called weevils. And weevils are like little grubs that live in flour. Now, having Modular Mates can't stop you getting weevils if they're already in the flour, but what it can do is stop your weevils infesting anything else in your pantry. So when I found that in Australia, I had to basically get rid of everything in my pantry that was open, which was quite a lot at the time. And that was when I started my journey with Tupperware. And I started to buy Modular Mates. And you know the interesting thing? I got my Modular Mates, practically all of them, for free or half price, because I held 3 Tupperware parties And at the parties, every time I got host rewards, I would just get more Modular Mates. And so when I arrived in Canada, as I told you at the beginning, I already had Modular Mates, but now I have a whole lot more Modular Mates. Okay, so we want to make sure that any food we buy, we protect. We can protect it by putting it in Modular Mates. So this is not about transferring food into containers to make the pantry look pretty. It's about protecting the food we've already paid for. And every dollar we've used in our lives, we want to make sure that it works for us, not that we're working for it. And, you know, what I want to finish this section about keeping food fresh is if food goes stale before you finish the food, you're basically costing yourself money just to have it in your pantry. Okay, now what about using maximum space in your pantry? So one of the things that I wanted to show you is this. Now this is a box of cereal, okay? It takes up quite a lot of room in our pantry, and I'm trying to train my husband to transfer cereals to a Modular Mate, because look, that's how much room it takes, and that's how much cereal is in it. So while ever you have that amount of cereal in it, all of this up here is wasted space. And I know you can tell me, yeah, but Melanie, if you have like your cereal in a container, you're also going to have wasted space. It's true, but you have a fixed space. You organize your pantry to have a fixed space for it. And what is even better is if you have several boxes like this. Now, let's talk about granola bars, okay? I know that before I have Modular Mates in my pantry, I would buy boxes of granola bars that all the family liked. I have 3 children, and when they were at school, we used to make lunches every day. And how many times did I go to a granola box that was empty? It was empty because somebody had taken out the last one and nobody had thought to put away the box. So for me, one of the best things that I ever did was this. Now, this is the box that is left over. This is the box that was our granola bars. And what I would do is I would buy the big boxes of 24 or 18 granola bars and tip them into this box. And then everybody knew where the granola bars were, and they would be able to get their granola bars out and put them with their lunch in the morning. They started to do it because then they got to choose their granola bars. And 2, I never got to the stage where I had none because I could always see. Now, my husband and I use this for our protein bars, for our little gel snacks, for everything to do with running, and also snacks if we want to have extra stuff during the day. And this has been an absolute lifesaver in my family. And yeah, it's a big container. This is the biggest container in the Modular Mate series. This is a number 4 rectangle. And it takes up quite a lot of room, but I can promise you that if you have 4 or 5 granola bars, and then you've got your jellies, and then you have some protein bars, very quickly you can actually use up a whole shelf just storing snacks. And you know, we use this now. It's even got in here some of those Make Good little granola balls, and these are all things that Alan and I use for running or for just when we travel out. So this I love. Of course, if you can make your own granola bars, that's going to be even better. So just say good morning to Cindy, who's watching me on Facebook. Hi, Cindy. So that is a really, really good tip. So now what you're doing is you have a fixed space for your produce, you know what's in it, you know when to buy it, and you are not dealing with clutter in your pantry. So this is something that I absolutely love about my Modular Mates. Okay, so sometimes you don't need more pantry space. I've said this already. You simply need less packaging. So that's another way that we can save space for you in your pantry. And one of the things that I really have discovered at Tupperware is that when I do a pantry makeover, I find space for people. Often people look at my pantry and say, "Oh, I don't have room for that." Well, that's because you're not organized, and you probably have a pantry full of stuff that's doubled up, or you don't really know what's in there. And by using Modular Mates, I can find you a lot of space. I've never done a pantry makeover and not been able to find somebody's space. Okay, so if you want to make the space work harder, what you need to do is you need to be able to have Modular Mates that, and I said in the advertisement here, that stack together. So, okay, this is a simple idea. Sorry, getting used to the camera, where I have two squares on top of each other. Okay, then if I wanted to do, instead of that, a square and two ovals, that is also going to work. And what is great about Modular Mates is there are many sizes. So if I show you this now, this is a set of of ovals, and the ovals, they have 5 different sizes. They have a 1, they have a 2, they have a 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. They also have a 4 and a 5. Now you'll notice today that all of these have got different color lids on. That's because Tupperware have an amazing sale on at the moment where all of our Modular Mates are 50% off the sets. And some of the colors, I can't even believe the colors myself. We have a purple. We have, this one's called Vanilla Ice. This is called, obviously, pink something. But then we have darker colors like this beautiful burgundy. And a favorite among my customers is the teal color. So this is great as well. But because we have different sizes, what you can do, and we have a table that actually will tell you 2 kilograms of flour, the big 2 kilogram bag of flour will fit beautifully into a number 4 square. So you don't even have to test it for yourself. We have information already to tell you how to store your different ingredients. Okay, so I know you're probably all thinking, oh my goodness, if I was to do my pantry, that is going to cost me an absolute fortune. Well, if you were to buy them at regular price, yes, it would. If you were to do all your pantry at once, yes, it would. But what we suggest is that you choose a little bit of your pantry at a time, and you buy Modular Mates only when they're on special, or do like me and have a party and only get them for free or half price. Actually, the special at the moment is half price, so you get those deals anyway. So when we do pantry makeovers, what we look at is what size pantry do you have? What shelves do you have? How many do you have? Are they adjustable if you needed to do it? Do you prefer the oval type shape? And what I would say to everybody is oval means it has to pour well. You do not want to put brown sugar into an oval container, otherwise you'll never be able to get your brown sugar out. If you want to be able to put a cup in, then a square or a rectangle is much better. So we are there to help you with all those ideas. So we're going to look at the heights, and we're going to say what we want to do is we want to maximize the amount of space that you have in your pantry so that you can have everything you want in there. So one of the things that people will often say to me, oh, but it's all right for you, Melanie. You have a perfect pantry. I do have a perfect pantry now. I have a built-in pantry. It was designed to be used with Tupperware. But I haven't always had that in my life. I didn't have that in Australia. I didn't have that in Canada, in the 2 houses I lived in before I came here. And so what I would say to everybody is, you know, every pantry will be improved by using Modular Mates. I am just lucky that I have a pantry that is totally organized with the space. And what I would suggest to anybody out there who's thinking about doing a pantry makeover is to ask yourselves these questions. Do you bake? That could be one area. Do you cook at home? Do you need pasta, quinoa, pearl barley, rice, all those things? We could have a grains area. Do you like to have snacks available? Maybe we just get you one big number 4 rectangle for you to use. And, you know, all of these different areas that we have in our pantry can so easily be done one step at a time. And that is what my recommendation is. So for me, an organized pantry means now that I can walk into my pantry and actually find something to cook. So I'm never in the position where I say, oh, there's nothing to eat in the house. We better, you know, do a 911 order because I don't have anything. There is always something, even if the something is just pasta and cheese, right? Pasta and cheese, a bit of ham, maybe a bit of tomato. I can always rustle something up because I keep my pasta. I'm just going to get oh, here it is. Because I have different pastas. I have my macaroni in one of these. I have a taller one that has penne in. I also have lasagna shells. I don't get to use those too much. And when I was sorting my pantry, I thought I really should make a lasagna soon. So, you know, whatever you have, you can find something to cook. And the best organized pantry is not necessarily the prettiest one. It's the one that makes your life easier and cheaper, I would say, and makes it so that you can always find your goods. Okay, so many people say I'd need 50 containers. And I repeat my comment to you there. No, you don't. You just need to start with maybe 5. Start with one of the sets, or 4. Start with one of the squares or the rectangle sets. They're all on special at the moment. They have all these beautiful colors that you can choose from. And I don't even have all the colors here. There's the pink, the yellow, and the mauve. There's the burgundy. There's actually 2 different pinks, a deep pink and a pale pink. Maybe you could look at that as, oh, you know, my pantry could actually brighten up my day. I know when I told my daughter Hannah that there were purple lid Modular Mates now, she definitely perked up and said, wow, how fun. And it's true, it's fun. So Tupperware are really trying to make our products more appealing to many more people. Okay, so don't organize your whole pantry today. Fix one frustrating shelf first. And what I would love is if any of you hear this, please reach out to me. We have amazing specials on Modular Mates at the moment, and they are all 50% or a little bit more than 50% off. And I also have some really cute scoops that I can throw in for you as an extra. And I am allowed to sell in only Canada at the moment. But I can sell right across Canada. I have customers all the way across Canada. So let's bring it back to what are the benefits of Tupperware? What are the benefits of getting Modular Mates right now? Number one is you're going to get them cheap if you buy them right now. Number two, you can see what you have in your cupboard. Number three, it will save you money because you'll stop buying duplicates and you'll start actually buying what you need. Number four, it will keep your food fresher. Number five, you're going to save money because you're not throwing things away as often. Or maybe you haven't looked in your cupboard, your pantry recently. Perhaps there's some stuff in there that really should get thrown out. Number five, and probably one of the best, is that you will find you have more space than you really think. So it will ease up space for you in your pantry. And number six, it will make cooking easier. It will take the stress out of what am I going to do tonight for dinner? What am I going to do for snacks for the kids? So that's why I've used Modular Mates for so long. Yes, I love the way my organized pantry looks, but much more importantly, I love the way that it works. So go and open your pantries today and find one thing that is costing you space, money, or choice. And that's where I want you to start. And, you know, as I was saying earlier, if Modular Mates can solve that problem for you, then keep watching over the next few days because there are definitely offers available and I will try and feature some of those for you. And I'd also like to say that if you enjoy my practical Tupperware tips like this, please subscribe to my YouTube because that gives me more opportunity to tell more people about how wonderful I have found Tupperware and how it has changed my life. And that might sound dramatic, but it really has, not just in products, but in the way I live. And that opportunity is always available for you. At the moment, you can join Tupperware for just $20 as a virtual membership, or you can take our special pack of products, which is on display behind me here on the shelf. And actually the rectangular number one Modular Mate is missing. But that is a set of over $400 of product and you pay just $169 to have the benefit of buying everything at 25% off. So thank you. Please subscribe and I will try and put more short videos and long videos up here to help you and for you to see how Tupperware is really impacting my life. So thank you, everybody. And thank you particularly to everybody watching on Facebook. I was trying out a new thing, doing a live stream on YouTube. I've never done that before. Unfortunately, I didn't have any eyeballs on it, but it's just a question of practicing these things and gradually letting people see them. So thank you so much, Cindy, for watching me, and for Mani, thank you for being on. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye for now.